This is a theory about a hidden chamber rumored to exist beneath an abandoned hotel in rural France. It's not marked on any blueprints, not visible on satellite. But those who stumble into it claim it knows them. It starts with the temperature perfect 72.4 degrees Fahrenheit. Your favorite, the wallpaper, is peeling, but in the exact same floral pattern your grandmother had in her living room. There's a crack in the ceiling, shaped like the scar on your knee, and then your chair, the one you lost in a fire in 2003. People call it the remembering room, and hey race where it gets lunatic level freaky. When you speak, the room echoes your thoughts, not your words. You say, "I'm tired," but the room responds, "You miss her." You say, "Where am I?" And it answers, "Where you promised never to return." Some claim it feeds on nostalgia. Others say it's a pocket of psychic sediment where emotions fossilize and get stuck like gum under the universal consciousness. One Redditor swears they sat in that chair, blinked, and woke up in 1971 in their mother's womb. This room doesn't have a lock because you are the key. Found exclusively in DIY forums and unhinged ARGs, this theory proposes that inside every IKEA there exists at least one wrong door, not an emergency exit, not a staff lounge, something else. The IKEA door isn't built, it grows. Workers paint over it, replace it with drywall, but it always comes back. According to user Sigaros Cosmonaut, he opened one behind the faux kitchen displays and stepped into a low-resolution house like someone rendered a Sims 2 suburban nightmare with corrupted textures. Walls had JPEG artifacts. The grass was a flat PNG image pasted onto the ground. He walked for 3 hours. All the clocks said 2:42 p.m. No matter where he went, he finally found a kitchen that was completely functional except the oven kept baking a birthday cake with his name on it. He's never celebrated his birthday. And then came the knock from the inside of the refrigerator. They say you can only find the door when you're emotionally unstable and need a new desk lamp. So basically always. The Echo Ward is a floor in hospitals that doesn't exist on any map, but somehow shows up on insurance bills. You wake up in recovery and get a $7,300 charge for a room 713 stay, except there is no room 713. People who remember glimpses say the hallway has no lights, only shadows moving the wrong way. You hear beeping from machines that aren't plugged in. The beds are empty, but the monitors flatline. Anyway, the walls are padded like a psych ward, except the padding whispers. One patient reported they could hear their own last words, even though they were still alive. Doctors deny it. Janitors say they refuse to clean it. Nurses, they just go quiet. One theory is it's a memory leak in reality's RAM, a bug in consciousness. Some think the ward exists for people about to die, but don't like a holding pattern for souls that got called too early and were told to wait their turn. Someone once tried to set up a live stream inside the ward. All they got was 4 hours of static, and at the 33333 timestamp, a single frame of themselves sleeping at their own funeral. The clock basement isn't a place you find, it's a place you hear. The ticking starts slowly, barely audible beneath city noise, plumbing groans, and your brain's leftover trauma. Then louder tick, 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 until it's louder than your own breathing. No matter where you are, if you follow the sound long enough, you'll find a stairwell, 10 steps, always 10, and then clocks, hundreds of them on the floor, on the walls, dangling from invisible threads in the air, like time itself had a nervous breakdown and started decorating. They're all synchronized, but not to our time. Midnight isn't midnight, noon isn't noon. They're counting down to something no one agrees on. What one YouTuber known as No Sleep Sam claimed he spent 40 minutes down there, then checked his camera footage. He was gone for 4 days. Another said the clocks don't just tick forward, they tick sideways. You don't age down there, but when you leave, your hair is white and your childhood pet is suddenly alive again. One horrifying thread proposed the clocks aren't measuring time, they're measuring you, how much you have left, and if they all hit zero at once, you wake up in the basement of another reality where you're the clock. Imagine a room entirely made of mirrors, not a hall of mirrors. Those are funhouse jokes for tourists. This one is silent, pristine, and completely unavoidable. Once entered, no corners, no seams, no way out, unless you admit what you did. Hey race, the catch, it doesn't reflect you, not really, it reflects your choices. The left wall shows your face if you told her the truth. The right one shows what would have happened if you never touched that bottle. The floor displays a child you never had. The ceiling shows the sky you would have died under had you taken that other route, and straight ahead the version of you who never walked in. Some say the mirror room can only be found in luxury hotels, presidential suites you didn't book. You walk in for a quick look, then the door locks and the mirrors start changing. One conspiracy theorist claims the mirrors eventually turn liquid and you drown in the one that hurts most. They never find your body, but once in a while The next guest reports the walls blink. No one remembers it being there. You're just vacuuming one day, and boom, trapdoor wooden splintery, begging to be pulled, and hey race, the screaming absurdity, you recognize it, even though you've moved 5 times across 3 states, lived in a studio, with no ceiling crawl space. It's always the same attic inside boxes with your handwriting filled with items you never owned, tapes labeled with your name, but in voices you don't remember, a photo of your 6th grade teacher staring directly at the camera, mouth sewn shut with red thread. There's a child's drawing of a house, your house, but the front door is gone and replaced with a spiral. Some say, if you stay in the attic long enough, you start hearing footsteps from below, even though you're alone, and once you descend, it's never your home anymore. It's 1943 or 2028 or something in between. The attic doesn't move with you, you move within it. Not just bright, violently bright, blinding, buzzing, humming like the sun forgot its boundaries. It's rumored to exist inside a decommissioned military lab room. X-17B. The light is old, ancient, not electric, not solar, primordial. It casts shadows upward. People who enter report nausea, nosebleeds, and a desperate need to confess things they didn't even remember doing. One man shouted, "I left the dog in the freezer," before passing out. You can't close your eyes in this room. That's the worst part. The lids refuse. They say your brain is forced to see for you. You blink, but the rods in your retina don't get the memo. They stay online, streaming, absorbing. What's the light trying to show you? Nobody knows, because the moment you figure it out, you either go blind or become a light bulb. One janitor described seeing a person smiling at full wattage, just a human body made of skin and fluorescence. She quit the next day and moved to Iceland. No electricity, no mirrors, no light bulbs. Room 441, room 6B, room infinity. The number changes depending on who tells the story, but the result is always the same. You check in after a long trip, nothing's available, but the clerk goes quiet, looks over both shoulders, and says, "We do have one more room." He gives you a key with no number, just a symbol, like a scribble made by a crow on benzos. The hallway gets colder, carpets feel wet even when dry, the doorknob smells like something recently exhumed inside a bed that's already warm, a phone with no cord, a painting of you sleeping, but your reflection is watching you through the TV. You fall asleep, and when you wake up, you're in someone else's room, someone else's life. The clerk doesn't recognize you. Your wallet's filled with money that hasn't existed since the 70s, and your phone, it has one contact: reception. You call, they answer. You were never meant to check out.